Welcome to the Mind Tricks Radio Distortion of the Day. This is where I explain and discuss in under 10 minutes basic concepts in clinical psychology that I hope you will find practical and useful in your life. Thanks for tuning in. Hey everyone, welcome back to Mind Tricks Radio. Today we're diving into a psychological concept you've probably heard floating around a lot lately, gaslighting. It's become one of those buzzwords we hear everywhere, from serious psychology articles to casual conversations, and even TikTok. But what does it actually mean? Simply put, gaslighting is a form of psychological manipulation where one person intentionally distorts reality to make another person doubt their own perceptions, memory, or even sanity. It's an insidious form of control, where the gaslighter slowly undermines their victim's trust in their own mind. But here's why it matters to clarify what gaslighting actually is. The term has exploded in popularity, and with that comes a lot of misunderstanding. Not every disagreement or miscommunication is gaslighting, and misusing this term can actually minimize the experiences of real victims. So let's get into it and clear things up. First, let's talk about the origin of this intriguing term, gaslighting. The phrase actually comes from a 1938 play, which later became a famous 1944 film called Gaslight. In the story, a husband manipulates his wife into believing she's losing her mind by secretly dimming the gas lights in their home, and then insisting she is imagining things when she notices. Pretty dark, right? From there, psychologists began using gaslighting to describe similar real-life manipulative behaviors, especially within abusive relationships. In psychological literature, gaslighting initially appeared in discussions about domestic abuse, manipulation, and emotional control. Today, it's recognized as a distinct psychological phenomenon, and not just in romantic relationships, but in many interpersonal contexts. So how exactly does gaslighting show up in relationships? There are some common tactics gaslighters use. First, there's denial. This is when someone insists something never happened, despite clear evidence. Imagine your partner telling you, "I never said that," even though you vividly remember the conversation. Another tactic is trivialization, making the victim's concerns feel insignificant or exaggerated. Ever heard, "You're too sensitive," or "You're overreacting"? That's trivialization at play. Contradiction is another hallmark. The gaslighter gives conflicting information to create confusion, making the victim question their memory and perceptions of reality. And then there's projection, when the manipulator accuses the victim of exactly the behaviors they're guilty of themselves. "You're always trying to control me," says the controlling partner. These tactics can appear in various relationships. Romantic partners, of course, but also bosses and coworkers in toxic workplaces, and even family members. A parent dismisses a child's emotions or accuses them of imagining hurtful incidents that can be just as harmful as gaslighting from a romantic partner. So what does gaslighting actually do to people psychologically? Well, the impacts can be profound. Victims often experience confusion, self-doubt, anxiety, and even depression. Over time, their self-trust and sense of reality erode, creating a painful emotional dependency on the gaslighter. Long-term effects might include learned helplessness, hypervigilance, or even dissociation, where someone feels disconnected from reality or their sense of self. It's serious stuff. Now, let's take a minute to talk about the misuse, and frankly overuse, of the term gaslighting. Not every uncomfortable interaction is gaslighting. Having a disagreement or simply remembering events differently isn't gaslighting, it's just part of being human. People have a lot of honest misunderstandings all the time. There's even a phenomenon I like to call reverse gaslighting, where someone falsely accuses another person of gaslighting as a way to avoid accountability. For instance, imagine someone being confronted about a harmful behavior or an inappropriate behavior, only to claim they're being gaslit when people call them out on it. This kind of misuse can dilute the meaning of gaslighting and make it harder for genuine victims to be heard and believed. So how can we recognize and respond effectively to real gaslighting? Here are some red flags to watch out for. Feeling constantly confused or questioning your own sanity, noticing persistent patterns of being invalidated or dismissed, or experiencing a consistent power imbalance where someone else dictates your sense of reality. Protecting yourself from gaslighting involves some practical steps. First, consider documenting conversations or incidents. Having a clear record can clarify inconsistencies. Second, validate your experiences by talking with trusted friends or seeking outside perspectives. Third, and perhaps most important, Set firm boundaries with anyone trying to manipulate or control your reality. Okay, let's wrap things up with a quick recap. Gaslighting is a serious form of manipulation with very real psychological consequences. It's crucial we use the term accurately to prevent misunderstandings and misinformation. And remember, cultivating self-trust, open communication, and healthy boundaries is the best defense against psychological manipulation. As we end, I encourage you to reflect on your experiences and be mindful of how you use this term in your conversations. And if you want to dive deeper, there's lots of great books and information out there on the topic that detail it. Thanks again for tuning in to Mind Tricks Radio. Stay aware, stay empowered, and I'll see you next time. Thank you for listening to Mind Tricks Radio. I hope you have enjoyed the program. For more information about Mind Tricks, you can go to my website, www.waikikihealth.com. Be sure to subscribe to Mind Tricks on your preferred podcasting host to be notified of new episodes of Mind Tricks. Please take some time to give Mind Tricks a good rating and review wherever you're listening. It really helps get the word out to new listeners. And please like and share Mind Tricks posts on Twitter and Facebook by following your host, Dr. Aaron Kaplan.